in this episode, I'm going to talk about carbs and fasting. Carbs are really important in the keto diet, so I'm going to talk a little bit about those. And also lots of people do intermittent fasting, so I want to talk a little bit about that at the end. Do subscribe or follow and share this. Let me know what you think. The keto diet is really low in carbs, and that's the way that the body starts burning fat. So we want to have a high fat diet to put your body in ketosis so that your body burns fat instead of carbs for fuel. All the time you're eating carbs, those are going to be consumed first for fuel by your body. And when those sugars, those carbs have diminished, then your body goes into fat burning mode. Now with the keto diet, your body stays in fat burning mode. Now some people think, well, you must have carbs to survive. They're a source of energy. Yes, they are a source of energy, but loads of evidence out there has shown that actually a keto diet is really good for you if that suits your body type. And I know for me it certainly does, which is why I like to stick to the keto diet. Now sometimes I do eat carbs, like it's January at the moment and I have had carbs. I've bought some keto bread, but then that sort of triggers the carb need, etc. So that's something else to think about. Now you know your body and you know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. I'm just sharing with you what has worked for me and what does work for me. Now, a person that is just eating, not following the keto diet, will eat between 200 and 300 grams of carbs a day. The keto diet aims to put you much lower than that. Now you can do a low carb diet or a keto diet. I would recommend that you go onto a website like dietdoctor.com and find out exactly how many carbs would be suitable for you. But generally, definitely no more than 50 grams of carbs a day. But that again depends on your sex, your height, your weight, your calorie intake, and all of that. So that's something that you need to do to research further. Now, carbs. Not all carbs are equal. So when you are choosing your carbs on this diet, choose the ones that are high in fibre. My keto food list has also listed the fibre content when that's been available on the nutritional value. There's a link to the keto food list underneath. Just follow the link and you'll be able to access that. Or you can email me. That detail is below as well, and I can send that to you. Fibre then is a non-digestible carb. It helps you feel full and it helps you go to the toilet really well. So lots of fibre is really good for you. And what can be something that happens is that when you first go onto the keto diet, you might actually cut out loads of fibre because you're worried about the carbs and what you're eating. That's why I have now been adding the fibre content onto that keto food list. So how much carbs, fat, protein should we eat each day? Again, that keto food list has got that listed at the top percentage wise. So the percentage of carbs should be 5 to 10% a day of your nutrition that you're taking in. Only 5 to 10% of that should be carbs. Protein should be 20 to 35%, and fat should be the rest. Now with fat, you can overdo all of this. Obviously, if you want to lose weight and you're eating too much, even if it's the right kinds of food, you're not going to lose weight. It is easy to overeat on any diet, and with the keto diet, if you're feeling you want that comfort or you want more food and you just want to keep eating and you stick to keto food, you're not going to lose weight. So do keep your head in it as well. In a couple of episodes time, I'm going to do an episode on how to keep going with it. And that will be much more about mindfulness and maybe using EFT tapping techniques, meditation, that kind of thing. So that's in 2 episodes time. Just last week, I listened to Dr. Mindy Peltz from the Hay House Heal Your Life Summit, and she was talking all about carbs and fasting and all of that. I thought that is perfect timing. Thank you, universe. Now, the information that I'm going to share now, I've taken from all her years of experience and the research that she has done. You can listen to her podcast. She doesn't talk about a keto diet. She talks about healthy metabolism and metabolic fitness as well. So she will have carbs, but healthy carbs, and then when that goes, then the fat burning, etc. But she'll explain all about that. That's the Hay House Empower You app. If you haven't got that, then I'd really recommend that. I do a lot of listening from that when I'm driving to and from school and work. So she says counting calories doesn't work. Calories in, calories out. People have been doing it for decades, and people are still struggling and not having a healthy metabolic fitness. So there are two ways, she says, that we burn energy. One way is sugar, the other way is fat. Now, we know that carbs are sugar. Now, the carbs can be anything from an apple or sweets to pasta, bagels, bread, anything like that. Those are your sugars. Now, if you're eating those, your body is going to burn that first before it burns fat. This is why on a keto diet we want to keep the carbs as low as possible so our body doesn't burn the sugars but is staying in burning fat mode. She says, which I loved, there's a great thing about being a fat burner. It means that we lose weight, we keep the weight off, the body is healthier, it's better, and our bodies are better designed to be fat burners. They do that more naturally. And when we are burning fat, our body makes these things called ketones. And if you're weeing on those little urinalysis sticks, that is what it's measuring in your urine. And the ketones turn off your hunger hormones. So you might feel, hopefully you'll feel less hungry doing the keto diet. As well as turning off the hunger hormone, Dr. Mindy Peltz says that they give you insane mental clarity. I loved that as well. So they make you so that your energy is really consistent, and this is a sign that you are a fat burner. Now, some people just think that burning fat is not how we're designed, and we should go from sugar burner to fat burner back and forth through the day. And this is her angle that she's coming from. I have found, though, for me, that if I do have carbs, that kind of triggers me to want more carbs. So maybe that's something up here that I need to sort out in my head. But so I like to avoid carbs altogether. I used to think that having little meals throughout the day, maybe 4 or 5, would speed up your metabolism. Now, Dr. Mindy Peltz has said that actually she's tried to find research that supports that. She cannot find any anywhere. So that's changed my thinking, which is great. Don't have lots of little meals throughout the day. Apparently that doesn't speed up your metabolism. I'm going to start talking about fasting. When we go without food, we feel uncomfortable, and this is to do with hermetic stress. Hermetic stress is this uncomfortable feeling when we are feeling uncomfortable, a little bit of pain, maybe hunger pains, but actually that little bit of hermetic stress is really good for us. That is us training our body to be stronger and better. When you're feeling hungry, you can say to yourself, it's okay, I'm just training my body to get stronger and better and more efficient and go into fat burning mode. And that's what hermetic stress is all about. When you start fasting, all you need to do is just make the space of time that you're eating slightly shorter. So what time do you start eating? What time do you stop eating each day? I find for me that I lose weight. If I need to lose weight, which I do at the moment, if I need to lose weight, I eat when I'm hungry in the morning, but then I stop at about 1 o'clock, 1:30, and then don't eat again until the next morning. What I find when I do that is weight just drops off me. I have 3 meals in that period of time, my little pots, and I find that it really just disappears. but it does mean that I feel hungry at about 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, and I have to be really in control not to then dip into the fridge or get a pot out and heat that up and eat it. But if I stay focused and motivated, it really does drop off. Now, so how do we start fasting? Dr. Mindy Peltz suggested that you actually push breakfast back longer and longer. Now, as I've just said, I prefer to eat in the morning and lunchtime and then stop eating for the rest of the day. I find it difficult to sleep if I've eaten too recently before I go to bed, and I sleep really well with an empty stomach. It does mean I feel hungry about 6 o'clock in the morning though. I do try to wait until 7 a.m. But perhaps what you can do to begin with is have breakfast an hour later. If you are feeling hungry, then just tell yourself, actually, this is me training my body to go into fat burning mode, and that is absolutely fine. So push your breakfast to an hour later. And as soon as you're comfortable with that, push it an hour later again. Once you're comfortable with that, push it an hour later again. So it might be that you don't start eating in the day until 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock even, and that is really good. And then you finish eating 5 or 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. What you want to aim for to begin with is having a 13 to 15 hour window where you are not eating. So you know your times, you know your schedules, you can work that out from there. Aim for that first of all. Once you've got that and you're doing a 13 to 15 hour intermittent fast every day, do 1 day a week where you push it to 17 or 18 hours. Yes, I know. And you're going to be pushing your body again to that fat burning mode. Now, she suggested, and I really like this idea, I hadn't thought about this before, a 5-1-1 method. 5 days of the 13 to 15 hour fasting, 1 day of an 18-hour fast, 17 or 18 hours, up to you, whatever you can do, and then 1 day of no fasting at all. You just eat, have your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, and eat your keto vegan meals during that time. Now, obviously, if you're listening to this and you're just keto, not vegan, this is all relevant for you as well. So good luck with your intermittent fasting. She did then talk about pushing it to a 24-hour fast. I think, yes, do that as long as it's not going to become a really massive control thing for you. You have to be free with this. You have to be mentally healthy when you're doing these things. I think a 1 day, 2 day, 3 day fast, and they talk about these 5 day water fasts. I haven't done enough research around those. I am at the moment not going to recommend those. If you are thinking of going that extreme, then do loads of research, please, before you start doing anything like that. So those are carbs. Not all carbs are equal. Make sure you have got lots of fibre in the carbs that you are eating, those dark green leafy vegetables. Make sure your protein intake is really great and your fats are really good. Next episode, I'm going to talk about proteins, which ones are good, which ones to avoid, fats, which to avoid. There are some fats that you should really avoid, and the carbs. I'm going to be sharing with you foods that you can eat and foods that you need to avoid. Do tune into that, hit follow or subscribe to my podcast, and share it with people that you know might be interested. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.